Hey, welcome once again to Gracie Schwarzwald here with our complete Gracie Self-Defense Course. And we're going to move into the headlock portion, the standing self-defense headlocks. We covered why these are important to train and the fact that there are very many. And we'll continue through the timeline. But the first thing we want to focus on is the main timeline of headlocks is really about how compromised your posture is and how strong his control is. Okay, so if he only, for instance, has, go ahead, headlock. If he can't even get an arm around me, he's gonna have trouble. If he gets one arm around me, but that's all, he's gonna have trouble. He gets both arms around me bent over, that's obviously worse. Okay, so first we'll come back to the head control, but right now, the most important thing is correct posture. We covered this in our earlier section about if he goes for my head, my hips are in. If he goes for my hips are back. This is never more important than right now. Okay, so I need to make sure that when he goes for my head, that my head is up and my hips are in. Okay, now, it's very important that when my head is up, you're strong where?
Where you look at.
So I can have kind of good posture, but if I'm looking down a little bit, like I show this all the time, look up at that light right there. Okay, look right here. Here. Okay, so just that simple little bit of change with your head can mean the world. Okay, so when I step in, I'm not leaning back, but I tell everybody I'm kind of looking, if he grabs me, I'm looking right across the top of his head. Okay, so now he tries to pull me down. Here. Now, any space between our hips, so one thing that happens is if he moves his hips away or there's a little bit of space, even though I'm looking up, pull me down, he's going to pull me down. So I need my hips glued to him. Also, I don't want to be here and take a chance of catching a knee right here. Yep. So I want my hips in. Now, if he knows anything, he's going to move his hips away, he'll be able to pull me down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my back arm, hold his hip, not his shoulder. I need to keep his hips close. So I go and I lock his hip. So now if he tried to move away, even if he does, look, I step with him. My base is here. I'm not squatting, but I don't have my legs straight. Just a slight bend, positive hip pressure, holding the hip, head up, good strong back. Okay. Now, let's talk about proper positioning. When I do this, if I'm a little bit behind him and I see people defend like this, notice if he pushes his hips into mine, my hips bend. It means I'm going to get thrown, I'm going to get bent over. If it's air con, you're going to get uchimated. Here, okay, so I don't want to be at all behind him. I want to be a complete T. I don't want to be in front of him, but I'm going to get tripped. Here, I want to be to the side. So when I step in, I'm completely to the side. If he were to turn a little bit, I make sure I stay on the side. Now, conveniently, when he grabs me, he's already kind of putting himself in the right position, so I don't have to do a lot of work. Okay, so he grabs me. Here. Now, he's got control of my head. I can't escape yet. The one thing I have to worry about too is this arm, him deciding to let go and punch. Okay, so I'm not blocking like this. I need to lock his hand in place. He's already locked his hands. I make a hook and I hold here at his forearm, at the wrist. And I glue my elbow to my body. So over here to pull his arm away. Here, okay. My posture is up. He tries to pull me down. He moves around a little bit. He tries to throw me. He tries to move me down. Here. Okay. This is, now it's going to look the same, but notice the differences. He comes in. My hips are back. My head is down a little bit. Maybe I'm blocking like this. Go ahead. Now I'm going to get thrown all around. Here. Try to drill this enough that this becomes as much of an instinct as getting an underhook would be when somebody's passing. Or if he has a hand in the collar, you know, blocking the forearm from the choke. These need to be things that you do without thinking. So I grab him here, move around, I grab here. Okay, go slow at first. Make sure you're in the right position. Turn just a little bit. This is not the right position because, good, stay right there. Stay strong as you can. Look, I push my hips into his, I pull him down. Now, no matter how hard I pull, I'm a lot heavier than Erkan. there's no way I'm pulling him down. Okay, so you cannot practice this enough. He grabs. Here, don't lean back where he can drive me this way. Good positive pressure, pulling in, head up, here. Okay, we don't want to immediately be out of position and then have to fight out of the bad position. I don't want to have somebody put me in guard already with me broken down, their legs walked up. Okay, now, it's not a perfect world. Sometimes he grabs and I'm not in proper position. If I try to lift my head up, resist, I can't lift my head up. But very much like we worked earlier, the elbow underneath when we went to the wrist, I don't bring my head up, I bring my hips under my head. So he has me a little bit pulled down. If he's got me this far, this is probably not gonna work. But I hold the hip again, hold my head down, and I walk my hips in. Okay, so my hips coming under allows me to straighten my back. So if I were to catch him a little bit off, he can walk his hips under. Here, notice again, his hips stay glued to mine. If I try to move my hips away, he stays. So one more time, if I got you a little bit down, but do not practice this as your default. Practice, go ahead and get into proper position. This as your default. Okay, don't fight out of a bad position, but if it happened, here, okay? And that is our proper posture that you're aiming for. We'll deal with if you messed up, but that you're aiming for with headlock defense.